and welcome back to the Gems of Public Safety podcast. I'm super excited for this episode. It takes a lot to put these episodes together, but first and foremost, before I get into the episode, I want to shout out White Plains Library for giving us the facility and being very timely when it comes to recording and editing the podcast. This doesn't happen without White Plains Library, so I'm super grateful and super thankful for the opportunity and the space. So as we jump into this podcast, we always like to start with an intro. So I'm familiar with all of these wonderful officers that I'm sitting with, but for the audience who doesn't know who you are, I'm going to start with the man to the left of me, my boy, my guy, Winston McCormick. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Let's just talk about, real quick, where you grew up and what made you want to become a police officer.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here with you guys, share some space and some time with you guys. So it's truly a blessing. So
Thank you.
My name is Officer McCormick, or Officer Winston.
That's what they call you in school, right?
Yeah, Officer Winston, Officer
Okay,
McCormick.
perfect.
I like to keep it real chilled.
right.
Whatever the kids are comfortable with, I'm good with. I grew up in Mount Vernon. I'm born to Jamaican-born parents.
Okay.
And to be honest, being a police officer was not in my deck of cards. I had zero desire. I wanted to be a police officer.
Okay.
To be honest, I was always respectful of police officers, but if I seen a police officer coming towards me, I'm either going the other way or I'm just getting out of there because
I get it. I was the same way.
Yeah, at that time, it's more of like, especially being a minority, law enforcement wasn't too friendly. So
Gotcha.
in my high school, I went to Mount St. Michael in the Bronx. We never had school resource officers.
Okay.
So I never really got to interact with police officers. But my cousin was like, hey, listen, I want to take the test. Could you come down and take the test with me?
Gotcha.
I ended up taking the test and passing. And even when I was going through the entire process, I still never thought that I'll be a police officer. I always had the mindset like, this is like a backup plan. If I get in, I get in. If I don't, then, I can always find something else to do.
Okay.
So, it wasn't really in my deck of cards, but here I am today.
How long you been on?
I've been on for 7 years, and this is my 4th year as a school resource officer.
Okay, we're gonna
so
get into
I'm
that.
in
I'll
my
give you a
senior year as a
Got
school
you.
resource
Got
officer.
you. I got to ask you a question about that later, but I'm going to spin it over to my guy to the right of me, Officer Sean Dean. The reason why I like to introduce you guys like this because I have a personal relationship with you guys. So if I'm too lax, if I'm too chill, you let me know. But like I said, I'm super excited about this episode because I really love what you guys do. And, I know your students know you, but I think the community needs to get to know exactly who you guys are. So that's why I start the way I start. So Sean Dean, tell us who you were, growing up, and then, what led you to become a police officer.
So yeah, like you said, there's nothing wrong being laxed. We're boys on and off the court, so
Exactly.
I
want a championship with this guy, in case you
want a
didn't know.
championship definitely with the job as well. I'm a school resource officer. He's a senior in this. I'm a freshman, so this is my first year as a school resource officer, and I love it. Before the job, I did not want to be a police officer. I actually did not know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I grew up in New Rochelle, New York. Went to Trinity, came there in the 3rd grade. Went to Isaac, went to the high school.
You're a Huguenot.
Huguenot,
Yeah,
played
okay.
football. So I was just enjoying my time. I had good influences around me.
Okay.
Had a good group of friends, family. Every female in my family pretty much was like a nurse or X-ray technician or registered nurse or anything like that, nurse practitioner. All the males in my family was law enforcement.
Okay.
My dad, he worked at corrections in New York City.
My father as well. So
My
shout out to Pops.
my uncle was a lieutenant in the New York NYPD.
Okay.
And like a lot of other uncles are also within law enforcement as well. So I kind of had like good influence. I always wanted to help people, so I always was like that big brother kind of personality. So like, say someone's in trouble, like, what happened? How can I help you? How can I help?
Okay.
So I always had it in me, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it.
So you didn't figure out what you wanted to do with that energy, and then it kind of came to fruition.
So went to school, did the whole sports thing. Then I went to college. I didn't know I wanted to do that, and so I went to University of Bridgeport. I dormed there for a year, came back, went to Lehman College.
Okay.
Then finally I was like, you know what? I want to do something with, something with the health field. I just want to try it out. So I went to Mercy College, and I was going to go for physical therapy.
Okay.
You know how in the meantime everybody else tell you take these tests here and there. So I was like, I took every test just in case. You never know how life is going to turn.
Same thing. I did the same thing.
So I took a whole bunch of tests. First test that actually called me back was New York City Corrections, which my father did. So
Okay.
I was working in Rikers for about 5 years. It was an interesting experience.
Multiple buildings, or you were in one building?
I was in one, but AMKC.
Okay, that's where my dad was. AMKC.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
my dad was there too. I think he
Okay.
retired like 01 or something. But it was
Yeah,
like
my dad left in 2010.
okay. I started 2016 to 21.
Okay.
So I was there for a while. It taught me a lot of lessons, taught me patience. It taught me to be humble. It taught me to, like, not everyone is there for, not everybody's a bad guy in there. Like, some people may have made bad choices. And it taught me, like, all right, I actually talk to these dudes. And, some have remorse. Some don't. But, some
Yeah.
do. And it's like you learn, like, it's not really, what it seemed to be. But
Got you.
that job also, it wasn't really for me. I got called. White Plains Police Department called me. I did all the processes, the agility tests, everything like that. And, here I am. They called me. I came, started with patrol for a few years, and now I'm in my 5th year as a SRO. I love it.
All right,
So I
that's
went
what's
from, helping like friends in the neighborhood, stuff like that, getting humbled in corrections, and then here now I'm actually get a chance to help people, on their worst days, and then now I get to see kids on their, on a regular day, instead of them having a bad experience with a cop, like, oh, my mom got a speeding ticket the other day, that's the first time I seen a cop, or, my family member may have gotten arrested. Instead of that being their first experience with a cop, their first experience is we playing volleyball together, we playing kickball together, and watch me kick it across the, or we making jokes, or he had chicken for lunch, I had pizza for lunch.
Yeah.
And, it's more of a positive, normal interaction instead of something traumatic or negative being associated with the cop.
I love that, man.
So, yeah.
I actually saw a photo of you with a friend of mine's daughter, and her face was like lit up, and I love seeing that, because I think people need to see that side of policing. It's not always about us enforcing the law. I think influencing and, getting people to see the other side, because I think when you do this kind of job, you wear many hats, and one of them is inspiring others to want to do this job. And as I mentioned that, all the way to the extreme right of me is a woman that I hold in high regard, because she's homegrown, she's from the city, she's got a lot of love in the community. I've been up at the games on Ferris, and when people see her, their face lights up. She just won the Ricky Lee Award for mentorship, and I think she really believes in what she does, and she puts her heart and soul into it. So without further ado, I need to introduce Jasmine Albert.
Yes, well, thank you for that,
Yeah,
Jay.
absolutely. I got to give you your flowers, and I know a lot of times I tease you, and
Yes, you do.
I give you a hard way to go, but it's tough love, and I really respect what you do. I love what you do, but I want the people to know, like who you were and what led you to become a police officer, especially in the city that you grew up in.
So my honest answer, what led me to be a police officer, my father wanted it for me first.
Okay.
And I took the test, and I was like, all right, just to make him happy, I'll take it. I think I took it when I was 22 or
Okay.
21. And I just never went through with it, because I said, I need to live my life. I don't have much life experience. Like, I'm still helping him with the kids, with our foundation and stuff. But it wasn't until I turned 30 where I said, all right, I need to start taking life more serious.
Okay.
Let me revisit this, because I did find that there weren't a lot of officers in the community that looked like me.
Okay.
Not just being a minority, but a woman. There
Absolutely.
wasn't a lot. So then I went forward with it, and I got it. And when I first came here, I said my dream position is SRO. I love working with kids. I'm good at it. They mean the world to me, and they're not my children. And this is my 2nd year as SRO, and I love it.
That's what's up. I love to hear that. During your award ceremony, this was a great moment for me to witness, because I was there filming, and I'm watching you talk, and you're talking about Brownie, right? And Sergeant Brown, I can't even say
Sergeant Brown.
Brownie, but because Brownie's my friend, but Sergeant Brown, you were sitting there talking about how she inspired you, and she was one of the influences. And to see her get emotional when you said that was like, oh man, I got like chills. I got goosebumps telling the story right now because I'm watching it, and like, because to me, Sergeant Brown is probably one of the toughest females
Yes.
that I've ever been around. She was a great street cop. Like, I have nothing. I tip my hat
Yep.
to Sergeant Brown because she's no joke.
No, she's not.
You know,
Shout
and I
out
worked with her
Sergeant Brown.
father briefly when I first came here, but to see Brownie get overwhelmed with emotion, it made me so proud because it really works. Like when you get somebody that you know and that you can see yourself in, and say, "Oh man, I can do this." So maybe like it wasn't on the radar for anybody, but seeing somebody who inspires you to take this kind of job, because it's not an easy job
Right.
to want to get into. So to have that inspiration and to follow through, I think is a tremendous feat. So if you guys haven't realized already, I'm sitting down with the SROs that police these lovely schools in the city of White Plains. So I'm going to double it back to my boy Winston here. And where are you in SRO? And just kind of explain what the day-to-day looks like. And then I'll just kind of peel it down the line here.
So I'm an SRO in White Plains High School.
All right, go Tigers.
So I stay at White Plains High School. So
Okay.
once I get in the morning,
Yeah.
I check in with
Because
the
I don't know
bosses.
what y'all do. I just know you guys are there.
Yeah, I got you. So what I do is in the morning time, come to work, check in with the bosses, check my mailbox to see if there's any reports in my mailbox, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know, but if the police officers respond, like patrol responds to someone's house,
Uh-huh.
sometimes a lot of times the reports come to us and we got to follow up. Let's say it's a domestic, or let's say a kid from the neighborhood, gets in trouble. A lot of times, it comes to us, we got to follow up. So I check my mailbox, and then I hop in my vehicle. That's electric. I put that in there.
It's good for the environment. I
Yeah,
like that.
I love
Take
my
that.
vehicle, by the way.
You got electric car?
Yep. Inside joke. So then I drive down to the high school, and I try to make sure I don't like to stay in the office at all.
Okay.
Unless I have to do something. Obviously, if I have to do
So
reports,
you like
or
make your
something.
rounds early?
Make my rounds. Yes, I like
Okay.
to make my rounds. I like to be out. Just my presence alone, I think, it stops a lot of things from happening within the school. And I don't want to be. My thing is maximum effort, the least amount of force. I don't want to push myself
Gem right there, I like
on.
that.
I don't want to push myself on the students. I think that it's very important for me to be present, but
Okay.
not force them to have to interact with me. So
I like
a lot of times it comes natural. So a lot of kids will see me in the morning. Hey, good morning, Officer McCormick. Hey, good morning, Officer Winston. How you doing? And I like to check in and make sure everybody's doing okay. And just them seeing me, I think that it offers a level of safety, because as you know, 2026, we have a lot of things, and a lot of violence in like schools all over the country and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I think not only for the students, but for the staff to see a police officer there every day. I'm like another staff member. I'm a police officer, but another staff member within the school.
Okay.
I have my badge and stuff like that. I have my office, my own office, so they're able to see me and say, "Hey, listen, that's our SRO," and I love when they call me that. I'm like, this is
I love
our SRO.
I love that.
So I think that that's a big role. But my day is no different from patrol.
Okay.
You never know what might happen during the day. One day you might be having a counseling session with a student, checking in on them. Something happened the night before. The next day you might be assisting, the social worker or the school psychologist with a student that's, having some emotional issues and trying to, help assist them in that situation. Or
Gotcha.
it could be, I could be walking in the hallway and I see two kids get into an argument, and I like to intervene in that stuff also.
Okay.
Call the admin and stuff like that. So that's a quick rundown of what I do.
All right.
It really depends on
We're
the
going to
day.
double back on some of the things that you said, but I'm going to swing it over to my boy Sean Dean. So let these people know where you at and what your day-to-day looks like.
So I'm at all 5 elementary schools. So each and every day I try to go to a different school each and every day.
Okay.
Try to spread my love to each and every one of these kids in different schools, staff members, everything. We serve as SROs. We serve as a liaison from the police department to the schools. So a lot of times people may be unsure what to actually call the police department about, or unsure. They may have a question that's police related, or may have something that they want to ask me. They don't really want to call someone that they don't know. Like you just calling somebody, hey, 911, or hey, the non-emergency number, hey, is this a reason why should I call? So they kind of come to us as guidance as well, which is this is really important. We actually not only we are impactful with the kids, we're impactful with the staff members as well and the parents. So within the community. So I think that's a very important job, and you know, it's very interesting to do. I go to, like I said, the elementary schools. The kids, they're very welcoming. They see you, and it's like they're so pure, so innocent. So they're so quick to say,
man, I love that.
Officer Dean, hi." We do like every now and then we do events. Like we did the St. Patrick's Day parade, and I felt like the mayor there. I was literally just walking, Officer Dean. I was like waving hi.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
So
And that's what it's all about, really.
It's
you know,
a great feeling just to be able to have that impact, and the positive impact on the kids, instead of getting booed or feeling like you're not doing your job and not doing a great thing. But when you get that feeling, it makes you feel really good.
Right.
So that's one thing about the elementary school that I really appreciate. I also, like I said, we deal with the principals, we deal with the other staff members. So any type that has a problem or, any potential threat that comes to the school, we try to nip it in the bud or handle it, whatever the case may be. If we need external resources, we'll call you guys, Post 3. We'll call, if it's like a mental health crisis, we'll call you guys. If it's like a bigger situation, you may call ESU. So we like the first ones to respond to the situation, and we decide how it's going to run.
okay, that's what's up. I had no idea that you did all the elementary schools. So Jasmine, I got to ask you this. Same thing. What's the daily look like for you? And then I'm going to open up the forum, and I want to have you guys pop in and out because I'm going to be asking questions and I need input. So.
Okay. So I cover Eastview, Highlands, and Rochambeau. I actually passed down the elementary schools to Sean because I had them last year. So
I learned a lot from you, by the way.
You
so
did.
definitely.
Middle school is a different age group. It's been a lot of fun. So what I found that I do is, obviously what Officer McCormick and Officer Dean said, everything that they said. Once I get to Highlands is where my office is. That's where I have my office
That's
at.
where you got your little fancy design.
Set up nicely.
Yeah,
It's all
so get your
calm,
pink
cool
and-
Pink chairs.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's my pink
Okay.
chairs.
All right.
It's a very homey feeling.
Candy.
Yes. So the kids, they come see me. I don't seek them. They come see me.
Okay.
Like, Officer Albert, can I have some candy? Can we talk? Can you walk with me here to the lunchroom so that I can talk to you? And I'm just, okay, no problem. But if the child is not having an immediate emergency at the time, I look at their grades to see if they can be in my office. Because if you are not doing well in your class that
I
you're
like
supposed
that.
to be at, I love you, but you cannot sit in my office right now.
Hey,
that's
You
good.
can come
I
see
like
me
that.
at lunchtime. Unless you're having an emergency or something happened the prior day, then you can come see me. But
Okay.
that is my rule. They know that. I have rules in my office. There's no cursing. There's none of that. We learn to use proper words to express ourselves.
It's like a coach.
So,
I like that.
yeah. And these kids know when you're out. So I'm
Now
feeling
let me
it
ask you a
right now.
question. Right now we're gonna open up the floor, and this is kind of gonna be a free flowing kind of conversation. Do you find that you have kids that take a liking to you and almost find excuses to come and hang out and talk? And do they confide in you to a point where they have an issue and they'll say, "Hey, listen, I got something going on. I don't really know what direction I should take it," and then they come and have a conversation with you and you kind of advise them? Because to me, it sounds like that. These kids have a level of respect and love for you guys. My question is, do they trust you enough to come with, some maybe pretty serious questions or issues and look for you to advise them? And this is, you guys can chime in however you want.
So I found that when you build that relationship with them, you're pretty much building their trust. They have to trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not going to say anything,
Gotcha.
much of anything or information that you're looking for. So right when you walk in those doors, you have to build that relationship of trust with these students. So yes, they take a liking to all of us. But when they trust you, they will give you the information that you're seeking for. And they will ask for guidance because they are in our offices all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that when I walked into the high school, especially with Winston, these kids, what's up, Officer Winston? They're very, very welcoming to you guys.
Absolutely.
And so I grew up in Yonkers, and we didn't have SROs. They were these school safety officers. So for me to see a police officer, and I went to school a very long time ago. So, obviously things have changed, but you know, for me, when I see you guys walk through the hallways and these kids' face light up, I mean, it's warms my heart to see that. But for you guys, right? And anybody here can chime in. Do you feel like for instance, right? If you have an issue with a student and they're about to get into a some kind of physical altercation, then would you then intervene and be like, hey, this is what I would do, or do you kind of like what's the process with that? How do you handle that? Because I know you're more like boots to ground.
Yeah, so it's no don't really have like a blueprint, to be honest with you. It really depends, like just like how you are, you're part of post 3. It really depends when you get into the situation, you assess it.
Gotcha.
One thing I will say about the school is, my job in the school is not to hand out consequences. Like if I see a student cutting class, I'll be like, yo, you better go to class before, they got the cameras and they're going to see you. But it's not my job to say, listen, you got to go to detention. That's not my job. So
okay.
I think that's very important that the kids know that. I tell them what my role, my role is when I'm there. If you have anything, like I said, maximum effort, least amount of force. I like the kids to know, even if I meet with them one time, I don't want to meet with you again. Okay, but at least you know where my office is. If you ever need anything, you can come here. All right, I might not have candy in my office, but and my office is not the prettiest, of course. But if you need something, you know where to go.
Gotcha.
You know where to come. And I like to kick it to them straight, especially like the seniors, because, like I said, I'm a senior in White Plains High School now, so to speak. It's my 4th year, and I've seen the kids when they were freshmen, and they actually like grew mentally and physically.
Yeah, you're like part of the maturation process.
And it's amazing.
And then for them to be seniors, and you can kind of see the growth and see
Oh my
where
goodness,
they potentially could
taller
be
than me. Some of them have beards and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
So the juniors and seniors, I think I get along with them because I like to kick it to them straight. We have to have like real life conversations. Listen, you come into my office and I could help you, help guide you, or whatever questions you have. Nothing is off limits. Tell me, like if I know the answer, then you know the answer. If I got it, you got it. If I don't know it, we could both find out how to get it.
And that's how you build that rapport. So
Build
that's
that
why these
rapport.
guys trust you the way that they trust.
Yes, they realize that, because cops can be intimidating. I'm a bigger guy. I got a bald head and I got a mustache. So, when some of these kids, they see me, I feel like I'm always smiling. Some kids say, oh, you never smile. And I feel like all I do is smile and laugh. But it's good for them to see that I'm actually like a human being. I'm not a robot.
Let me ask y'all a question, right? Has any kid come up to you and said that their perception of policing has changed since you've been an SRO? Like, have you been a catalyst for like a change in thought for them? Because maybe they viewed police as not so friendly or not so warm, not so welcoming, and then you guys came in and changed that tune for them. Anybody can answer. I want this to be free flowing. I don't want you to feel
this is
restricted.
me outside SRO, but one of the programs I did was with the YPI program.
We're just gonna get into that now. Happy you brought that up.
We interacted with the kids for a good week, and every day they'll come to us. We just have conversations, just regular chill conversations. And at the end of the program, one of the kids was like, you know what, Officer Dean, like before I didn't know like a real police officer, I didn't know like what you guys ate, smelled like, did anything. It was just astonishing for him. Then he just said, I actually appreciate what you do. I actually, I like the profession now, and it just changed. Before his mindset, he just see what he sees on TV, and a lot of it was negative. So for him to have like positive interaction with, and then someone that looks like him as well, it it felt good just knowing that I had some type of part of his change. So.
What about you, Jazz? Like from the female aspects, I feel like, females in policing is not, you don't see them as much as we see male officers. So do like young females say that you changed their outlook on policing?
Yes. So not specifically in those words.
Okay.
But more so like, I like you. Like, you're the officer I want. Like, I like you.
So you're humanizing the badge for them.
Yes.
I get that. Yeah, because I feel like, I think because we wear a uniform and because sometimes we show up to situations that aren't like, we meet people in their worst moments. So to have somebody that they can confide in and have a conversation with, and they realize that we have the same hurt, the same pain, we have the same family issues that everybody else has. We're not, immune to any of it. And you guys, just listening to like Winston, it's like you shoot it straight to them. You know, like you said, if I have the answer, then you have the answer. I love that you said that, because that's being transparent. That's being open, right? Because a lot of the time is, you know, you want to tell somebody something and maybe is, you know, it's not what you would do truthfully, right? But if you're telling them like, hey, this is how I would handle it, I think they respect that more than somebody being
Yep.
fake,
I
right?
agree.
Definitely.
You know, because obviously there's like the answer that you want to tell every kid, but then there's like the reality of what could potentially happen. And then if you telling them that, then they're like, oh, this person actually really cares about me. So my thing is, so you guys did the YPI, right, program. You guys also have a part in the cadet program, and that I was blessed enough to be able to take part, you know, in a few sessions and you know, work out and run with these guys. Give me a little bit about the cadet program. I don't know if the community knows much about it, so and feel free, anybody can chime in here and there. Tell us a little bit about the cadet program and what are your thoughts about it and what is it exactly? Because I can say cadet program and you might have a concept of it, but I need you guys to kind of explain.
I'll start it.
What
and
it
then
is.
Then I'll start it off, and then I'll let Jazz pick it off. So before the cadet program, I'm pretty sure you know this, it used to be the Explorer
The
program.
Explorer program, yes.
And then, you know, and then we kind of revamped it. You know, Jasmine is good at this type of stuff. She likes to break things and fix it back. So she actually came up with a good concept. You know, just adding more things to the Explorer program. Like, for example, we didn't have the kids doing physical activity, like
That is
working
now
out and stuff
added.
like that.
I
And,
love
you know,
that part.
we added that in. But before the cadet program, you know, I was, you know, I'm pretty sure Jazz, you was part of it too, right? Explorer program. Sean, I don't know if were you here for the Explorer program?
Nah.
Okay, so
Just a
it
freshman
was,
buddy.
it wasn't a lot like what it is now, you know. So
I'm impressed now.
yeah,
I love it.
absolutely. And so not saying what we had before wasn't great, but you know, with anything, we're always evolving.
Yeah, and just to
And
clear
things
up,
have to evolve.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah, like I said, like there's nothing against it, what we had before.
yeah, I'm not trying to shoot down what
Yeah.
was going on before, but I feel like now it's more dialed in.
Dialed in, absolutely. That's the
um,
perfect word. We dialed it
yeah.
in. We made some adjustments. I'll let Jasmine kick it
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
Because I heard you were the one who kind of spearheaded this cadet program. And
Yes. So,
I've noticed a big difference.
Hopefully, we got enough time. She's gonna go in.
Stop.
Should Jasmine have to go in?
We got time. Don't worry about it.
So last year I was a part of the Explorer program, and that's when I was really just observing it because it was more so Winston's. You know, he was the lead on that one. But I found that the students were coming in like pajamas or like slippers and just not
I
taking
noticed
it,
that as well.
not taking it serious. Like there was no structure to it, and we met over the summer so that we can revamp the program. And I said, hey guys, what do you think of doing a cadet program? Like more structure. There's discipline. There's physical activity. It's more routine. Like there's an outline for it. The students have uniforms.
I love that.
I made sure they all had uniforms. They all have to look alike. Pretty much how the academy was run when we all had to go is how we're running it.
Got you.
It's not a boot camp by any means, but they have to come in and look the part. They have to have their shirts, the correct shirts, the belts, the black sneakers, their hats when they're supposed to. And every Tuesday we meet. That first hour we're running outside, as you know, because you did run with
Love
them.
And not to cut you off, I really want to commend you for bringing in a community run club Dubset Collective. I think that's also a beautiful thing that you're involving the community. One thing I can say about the city of White Plains, I've been here 19 years, and this is a very close-knit community. There's a lot of powerful things going on here, and to figure out a way to kind of mix the community with a cadet program, I thought that was a very genius way to kind of throw in like, hey, we got Dubset Collective, and these guys have a run club. They do like there's a Tuesday night run, and there's a Thursday, and they have a long run Saturday. I've run with these guys, so shout out to Matt and Danny from Dubset Collective. I love the fact that you included them. What sparked that? I got to ask that question because I always wanted to
So me and Matt, we went to school with each other.
Okay.
And then me and Danny became close because I met him, I think, through Matt. And they told me they had like a running club, and I think I ran with them probably like twice so far. And they reached out, and this was something that they wanted to do because they want to be involved, in
love
the
that.
community. And I was just like, of course, I would love for firefighters, more police officers, even teachers, to come out and show like we're really united. Like this is a strong community.
I agree.
Like that's the end goal, and I'm hoping to get there. But that's how it all just molded, and since then they've been coming every Tuesday, running with them, and it's been perfect.
I love that. And just to shine a little bit more light on Dubset Collective, Danny works for the city of White Plains, and so does Matt. Matt is a teacher as well. So this is
That's right.
community through and through, and this is why I want to shed light on this, because to me, I think it's a great way to show that this city's a lot different than most other cities. I think, I'm not a native to the city, but I know that I've been here 19 years, and the city has embraced me. And
You're a native now.
I'm a native now, considerably, right? I've been here for close to 2 decades, and I just wanted to give you your flowers there by integrating that part of it. I also thought it was pretty cool that you guys marched in the St. Patty's Parade, and they were pretty squared away. So, what made you guys kind of want to teach these guys how to salute properly, be at parade rest, walk in unison? What was the catalyst for that?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Hey, okay.
So
I like that.
A lot of these cadets, they're students who are maybe interested in law enforcement. They're students who may just want community service hours. They're students who just maybe want something to do. Either way, all these ways is what we've been teaching them: saluting, discipline, running, everything like that. It's something that you may use in your future. You need discipline, especially if you want to be in any type of law enforcement, military, any type of sport, any type of thing like that. In regards to careers, you want to look sharp. You want to be on point, and you want to be chosen. So if you want this job, you got to be on point. You got to be dressed apart. If you're coming from maybe a lawyer, you got to have proper attire. Everything, pants can't be untucked. You have to look the part. So if they getting ready now, they don't have to prepare later. They're learning these gems now. So that's why I said stay ready so you don't get ready.
I like
Can I
that,
add something
man.
in?
Go ahead, man.
So
Please do.
what we tell the kids also is when you have that patch on, right, you're representing the police department, right? Because I'm pretty sure some kids, when they're leaving the cadet program or on their way to the cadet program, right, for our meetings, they're probably wearing the shirts. So when you're out in the community,
Very smart, yeah.
you're representing the White Plains Police Department cadet program. So it's very important how you conduct yourself inside school, outside school. So that's one thing that, we teach them, taking pride.
Code of conduct. I
Yeah,
like
code of
that.
conduct, yeah. It's taking pride in what you do. When I was in high school, they had, it's called, I went to Mount St. Michael, Mount Tradition and Pride.
Mountaineers.
So you're part of the tradition. Have some pride in what you're doing.
I love that.
Like Jazz said, showing up, looking the part. If you're not looking the part, you're gonna do some push-ups and do some extra work.
Absolutely.
So you show up, make sure your uniform is nice, make sure you're not forgetting stuff at home. And this builds, in an age where there's a lot of technology and AI and everything like that. I think we especially kids, they lose some discipline. And it's good to have discipline because you're gonna need discipline that's what I tell kids, when you leave high school, if you're 18, you're gonna be grown. Nobody's calling your parents or your guardian. You got to have some discipline within yourself.
You got to be responsible for
So
you. Yep.
this program, we're trying to hold them accountable.
I love
I
that.
don't want to hear why you're late. You're late.
Yeah.
I don't care if mom
No
couldn't drop
excuses.
you off. I don't care if your dog ate your sneakers. Whatever. You're late. You got to pay the consequences. You know that. And we also had a contract too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? See, didn't
Yeah.
know this. So tell us a little bit about the contract, and then I want to spill into some personal stuff for you guys, what you guys like to do on your day off. But tell me about this contract stuff.
We basically had a
I find that
contract
very interesting.
where we had them, we outlined certain things and, certain expectations for the program.
Okay.
So when you sign that and you decide, and we also had we had the parents come down
Yes.
to the police department
We had an
also.
open house.
So we told them what is expected of the program.
So that everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page.
and
There's
we
no
need them to
surprises here.
support.
We're not sneaking nothing in. You know what we're getting. If you're not,
So it's laid out for them.
yeah. If
you
this
want to be
is
a
not
part
for
of
you,
this.
No excuses.
it's okay.
Got you.
If you don't want to do this, you come in the first day. Oh, this is not for me. I'm not trying to do all of this. That's fine. No hard feelings. Nobody's gonna get hurt. We're fine. But if this is for you, then you gotta be in all. You have to be in it.
I love that, man. It is
We're not
a
gonna.
contract of conduct.
Yeah, exactly.
And they need to adhere to these rules. If not, so what is the consequences if they don't adhere to the rules? They get punted out of the program?
Depending on what it is, how severe what happens, yes, and they're out the program. So we have, let's just say, they're only allowed 4 absences for the year. Like unexcused absences for the year.
Gotcha.
If they go past that, which none of them have, they're out and they have to return their uniform.
So we have a high retention rate, is what you're telling me.
We do.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
We
absolutely.
do.
I love to
and
hear
I'm
that.
so happy.
I love to hear that.
Every year we want to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
I like this, man. How many cadets do we have?
It's like 25 to 28.
What are we trying to grow this to?
Listen,
As many as we can.
listen, sky's the limit.
Sky's the
That's
limit.
right.
I wanted
I
to
like
be. I wanted to have so much cadets that we're like, oh my goodness, like what are we gonna do? We're gonna
Right.
put everybody.
Too
Oh,
many.
we're
Too many
kind
is
of
a
having
good
that problem
to have.
now.
Yeah,
in
but
the-
we
in the
want
room.
to like you want to bust the seams with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an amazing program. And again, to be honest, if I was in high school, I probably wouldn't join the cadet program.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, man,
This is
this
kinda
stuff is
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Right.
I
We
mean,
doing
I
some
like
pretty-
it.
some pretty cool
you know,
stuff.
I always tell Jazz if I can jump in on a run or something like that, I always try to come down or lead a workout. There's nothing better than, I call that fellowship. You know,
Yeah, fellowship, yeah.
being next to somebody and
Yeah.
enduring some kind of difficult situation and seeing people fight through pain
Mm.
builds character, helps build trust, and it's a team activity. And so if you're looking to get into this type of work, you need to have that team mindset. Nobody's bigger than the program.
Right.
Everybody plays a role, and if you do your role effectively, everybody goes home. And we, you know, the end goal is whatever X, Y, and Z, we get that done. But if one person is out of sync, the whole team suffers. So I like the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing. So tip my hat, kudos to y'all. I want to know what a day off looks like for you guys. How do you decompress? How do you unwind? Because it sounds like you guys are very switched on when you're at work. So what are you doing to kind of decompress and you know, kick your feet up? What's that look like?
Well, when I'm off,
You know, Jazz got something.
when I'm off, I like to work out. Like that's my decompression. That's my refocus. That's my reset. That's for my mental health along with my physical health. I work out. I crochet.
She crochets, people.
I do. I crochet.
I need a hat. I
Yes.
ain't get no hat yet. She crochet. I didn't get no hat. I ain't get no
See, you
blanket.
crochet?
All right,
You know this?
so
You know this?
that,
I didn't know this.
Put that on your list.
We got on tape too.
Yeah,
so
homework.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna come up with a crochet little list, right? And you know, Winston's gonna need a hat. Sean gonna need a blanket. I'm gonna need a beanie because I'm bald. I need all of that.
I got you.
Okay, appreciate that.
And then in the summertime, like me and my dad, we do have our nonprofit. So that's more so when I do my community events, like
Okay.
with the kids.
All right, we actually working on something. Me and Jazz got something cooking,
Yes.
so we're gonna
Soon
leave
come,
that.
soon come,
Yeah,
soon
soon come. What about you, Mr. Dean?
So a day off, I'm turned off. So I'm like completely with the kids. I have 2 kids, 6 and 11.
Okay.
I'm hanging out with them, hanging with the wife. I like to go fishing.
Yeah, you did tell me you like to go fishing.
And as you know, basketball is life. So
Yeah, my
I like-
man.
my decompress is on the court. I like
like
you know
that.
playing basketball. It's something about it just makes me feel like I don't know. When I meant to say when you asked me what I want to do when I was younger, and what I wanted to be when I was younger,
Don't
I
say
always
NBA player.
I wanted to be Michael Jordan. So I watched that movie Space Jam.
Oh, that
and
was
then
it? You were
I
sold?
seen him stretch his arm through Bugs Bunny and all them
Yeah,
Monstars, and I was
okay.
like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I mean, that didn't work out, but
Yeah.
I'm still helping people,
It's all
so it's
right.
all good.
I like that. What about you, Officer Winston?
I'm pretty simple. I'll be honest with you. I like to hit the gym.
Okay.
You want to be a chef,
I see
right?
you in there.
You want to be a chef, right?
I want to be a lot of things. I don't even think we don't even have enough time.
You have
to,
some
like-
culinary,
I could throw down.
wishes.
I could throw
You
down.
Okay. Let me ask you a
I
question. What you
never
cooking?
see it.
Oxtail rice and
Well, now, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's
keep it
cutting
fish.
season, so I'm just making sweet potatoes, turkey, and stuff like that.
summertime.
Well, you know, I like to like throw down, you know, especially when I'm bulking. But typical day off for me, you know, if I'm not in the gym, I'm hanging out with my family.
Okay.
Not the family, then you know, I'm hanging out with my friends. I think it's very important as a police officer. You have people that are
I'm happy you said that.
not cops.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
that
hanging
is-
out with cops, but it's good to have a different perspective.
Yeah, it's good to
about
detach,
things.
you know, kind of get back to reality. I think sometimes we get pulled into this world, and you know, as everybody knows, like cops have like morbid humor. They
Yeah,
like
oh,
to talk
yeah.
about
Sure
the
do.
job when, you know,
When you're hanging out, that's all they
on
wanna
their
talk
free
about the
time,
job.
right?
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
when you hang out with people that you love, they don't talk about the job. Sometimes they might ask certain questions, but I feel like if they're your real people. They just will ask you stuff that you're interested in, right?
Right.
Things that you guys bonded over initially before you got this job. I always tell people, you were somebody before you got this job.
Absolutely.
And you got to always remain that person.
Absolutely.
Never lose sight of that, because this job, make you jaded. You see some really discouraging things. We see humanity at its worst sometimes. So sometimes we become a little cynical. And we become a little jaded. And so when you hang out with family, hang out with loved ones, they kind of reground you. So I'm happy that you guys mentioned that. So I want to make this interview a little bit fun, a little bit light, because I feel like the flow has been so great, right? So I'm going to ask some rapid, quick questions, right? And we'll go from there, and we'll let it grow some legs, and then we're going to end with the gem for the kids and the listeners and the viewers to take home. So I'm going to ask this question: favorite movie? What do we got?
Ooh, my favorite movie? I'll be honest with you guys. It's a Jamaican movie called Shatters.
Oh, really?
It's
Okay,
a
Shatters.
Jamaican movie called Shatters.
All right, that's your favorite movie. Okay.
Movie, yeah.
What about you, Sean?
I can't even give you a favorite movie. I'm not gonna lie. I watch everything. I like scary movies though, but
All right, you don't got like a favorite scary movie, man?
I don't. I don't know.
You don't got it? All right, we're going to skip you. Come back. Jazz, what we got?
Friday.
Friday.
yeah.
Good choice.
My movie,
Smoky.
Friday.
I like that. All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Neither.
I like seltzer.
Overachiever.
If I want to,
Yeah,
if
that's
I want a
crazy.
carbonated, if I want a
I'm going to
carbonated
go
beverage,
Pepsi. I'm a
I
healthy
want a
guy.
carbonated beverage.
I'm gonna
I'm
say
going
Pepsi.
with a seltzer.
I'm usually healthy as well, but I'll choose a Coke.
Okay.
I'm going Pepsi.
You going Pepsi? Yeah, I'm gonna go Pepsi.
You doing Pepsi in a can or in
Also,
a
my
can?
movie, I'm gonna go with. It's either gonna be Carlito's Way or Casino. One of the two.
I want to take mine back. I'm with Sean. I got to think about this.
I haven't
Shatters
seen
just came
those.
to my head because I watched it at least once a
All
month.
right, we can come back to that.
I don't know. Blue Streak came to my head, but I just
Blue Streak. That's a good movie too.
I don't know.
Martin
Just,
Lawrence.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I'm a little older, but it's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Favorite Disney movie?
Favorite Disney movie.
Do you even watch Disney movies?
You got it. Everybody does. Everybody does.
gotta
I'll tell you
stick-
mine, Lion King.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
about to say,
Lion
stick
King
with- that's
All day.
crazy. That's-
Toy
stick with
Story.
Mufasa.
Is Toy Story Disney movie?
Yeah, Disney Pixar, absolutely.
Yeah, Toy
I was
Story.
definitely gonna say that.
So you're gonna go
I
Lion
was gonna
King?
say Mufasa, man. you
Okay,
know?
all right.
Aladdin.
She loves her some Jasmine.
So, yeah.
Princess.
All right, favorite musical artist.
Favorite musical artist?
Yep.
Like current or
And,
like, or in
Any
time?
genre, any moment in time.
Okay. Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill.
I love me some Lauryn Hill.
You wasn't gonna say Alkaline?
No, not Alkaline. I don't know Lauryn Hill. So
Lauryn Hill.
I
I'll
didn't want to
take
get
that.
into it.
That's-
Listen, in the morning time when I'm getting ready for work, I'm playing R&B.
Okay, yeah. Same
I got to
here.
set the tone
Same
for the
here.
day.
Same
I'm
here.
gonna go off on the tangent, but we got to set the tone for the day. R&B, Lauryn Hill. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I was always like depending on how I'm feeling, I listen to a bunch of different type of music. I listen to Afro beats, I listen to soca, I listen to R&B, I listen to hip hop,
Okay.
I listen to Spanish music. I don't understand the words, but I
Hey,
still listen
listens
to
to me.
vibe. But,
Bailando, sí.
but I know growing up, I used to always have like Nas albums. I used to
Okay,
always love
Nas. I like that. It's an honest answer.
He's always storytelling. I always like listening to the
Yes,
stories.
one of the
that he
greatest
would tell.
lyricists of our time. Jazz, what we got?
You know who was a great storyteller was Slick Rick.
Slick Rick, but now you might be dating yourself if you're
Yeah,
talking about
Sean-
Slick
That's
Rick.
Showing that
That's
age.
okay.
Showing that
Okay,
age.
but you're not picking Slick Rick right now.
No. My favorite artist right now is Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Okay, I'll take that.
Breezy.
Ain't no way.
All right, now last question. If you can go anywhere in the world, right, for a vacation, unlimited budget, you can go anywhere in the world. Where we going?
Is it a place you've been to or?
Anywhere. You don't have to have been there.
I love Jamaica, but I want to go to Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Nice.
That's a great one.
I know
That's a
Ethiopia.
great one.
I want to see the other side of the world, like Indonesia or something. I want to,
Okay.
see what the elephants and the tigers and I'll be seeing.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
Jazz, what
Or
we got?
Africa as well.
Okay.
So I go with Fiji Islands,
Okay.
but I also want to do Tanzania too, though.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
I just need to see Egypt.
I'd love to see Egypt.
And Egypt. I've been to Greece. I kind of bounced around there.
Good parts in Greece.
Santorini, Athens. I went to. I'm a big geek when it comes to like Greek mythology. So
Greece,
I went to.
I went there. Athens was interesting. It was like a city kind of vibe, but
Athens is
it had a
crazy.
lot of
Athens looks
history.
like New York City in
But
the
it had
80s.
you seen the trains when it had like all the history underneath the
Yeah,
train?
absolutely.
I think it was pretty cool.
And the Acropolis is like in the middle of Times Square, if you really think about it. But I went to this island called Delos, which is where Artemis and Apollo were born. The twins of Apollo. So yeah, it's Artemis and so Apollo was the father, was Artemis, and Apollo, which was the son of Zeus. That's what it was. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I did all of that. I went to Ephesus, which is in Turkey, which is where, St. John gave the speech to the Ephesians. I did all of that. So I'm like,
wow.
I'm a big history geek.
Nice.
But
What's next, man? You going to the moon next?
I don't know, man.
Right?
I want to
You
go
going to the
see,
moon next? These guys are traveling.
one of the things I've always wanted to do is see the seven wonders of the world. So like Machu Picchu's on there. So I got to get to Peru and get that done. But as we come to a close, I like to leave our listeners with a gem, right? So obviously the podcast is called The Gems of Public Safety. So the gem that we like to really focus on is something that we can give the community, whether it's being safe or whatever the case may be. But being that you guys are in the school space, is there something that you would like to give the community as far as like the students that can help them in their travels or their dealings on a daily basis? So I'm gonna start with Winston.
That's like an amazing question. I think the biggest thing, now is for our kids to understand that they could legit do whatever it is that they want to do.
Absolutely.
Like,
this is the generation.
Don't
1000%.
let anything going on in your personal life or anything you got going on at home stop you from doing what you want to do. Like this wasn't in my deck of cards, but I made it happen. And I think now, like working, I've grown so much working in the school. Mm-hmm. Like I even empower myself. I'm like, when I'm done with policing, my career is not done. I still want to get a second and third career. Like a commissioner, like Commissioner Hardy. He's on his fourth career.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, it's amazing. Like, so you put your mind to it. I want to empower all these kids. Like, if you want to be a dentist, I'm gonna sit down with you. I'm not gonna motivate you. Like, you want to be a dentist? Yeah, good job. No, I want to sit down with you. I want to empower you. Want to be a dentist? What school you going to? How much tuition? Living on campus? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I know somebody who's a dentist. I'll give you the email.
I like that.
Like you listen. We can get through it together. Like the sky's the limit. You put your mind to it. Let's do it.
I'm
here to help you.
That's a great gem. Sean.
Absolutely.
Mine probably gonna be quick, but just want to say communication is key. Like it may sound cliche, but it's so important in our lives that we learn to actually articulate ourselves and
it's a lost art
and say exactly how we feel and what we thinking. Because too many times people assume, and that's how conflicts arise. People assume something was said about someone. People assume someone mentioned something in a certain tone or way, and it's not fully understanding why or the whole reason behind it. And I think like if you talk to somebody, really understand what's going on, it could, end all, like not all, but majority of conflicts that come about. So I think communication is key, and I want everybody to be able to learn how to talk to each other a little bit better.
Solid gem. Jazz, we're gonna close out with you. What we got, girl?
So similar to what Officer Sean says, mine is listen to understand, and that's more for the community to listen to the kids in the community, because 9 times out of 10 they're talking to you, but you're just not listening to understand. So if you just sit down with them for a few minutes and really try to understand what they're saying, a lot of issues could be avoided.
Oh my God, this was such a great interview, man. I took a lot from this. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to sit down and have a conversation with me. I appreciate you guys. I respect what you guys do on a daily basis. You guys have a unlimited patience. You guys have hearts of gold. I know all 3 of you guys personally, and you didn't have to do this. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you took time right now to sit down and have a conversation with me. So I'm just expressing extreme gratitude. Thank you so much. And to our listeners, please run over to Spotify. We're also going to be on YouTube, right? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This helps us reach a bigger demographic. We're working on some sponsors. I think I got a water sponsor coming through very soon. So please tap into the Gems of Public Safety podcast. And before I end, I would like to thank Commissioner Wade Hardy for coming up with this concept. Without Commissioner Wade Hardy and the collaboration with the White Plains Public Library, we wouldn't be sitting here having these conversations and getting our voices out to the communities. This is a great way to bridge that gap between the police and the community so they can see that we are humans and that we have hearts and souls as well. So from us to you guys, I just want to say thank you. Have a blessed and productive one, and enjoy.